Roberts.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. A pleasure to follow the honourable member for Perth and North Perthshire, and as I'm looking to speak about the content of the bill, I won't describe him in the patronising, condescending manner in which he describes me and my colleagues. Mr Chairman, whilst the coronavirus pandemic has had devastating impacts across many areas of our society, it has been useful in highlighting what is needed to achieve success and stability in the government of our nations. A united and consistent approach and leadership. Many times, Mr Chairman, in the past few months, the governance from Wales has been neither united nor consistent, nor has it demonstrated leadership. It has let down the people of Wales due to its often slow, confusing and divided stance, and then had the audacity to turn the mirror on this House and say that the confusion was caused by the UK government. Now, Amendment 33 would cause further division between our four nations and, in fact, look to divide our great union completely. This is not a bill about politics. It's not a bill about who gets to be the ones writing the cheques or taking the credit for things. This is an economic bill which will allow more money to be spent in Wales for the benefit of our villages, towns, cities, businesses and residents. COVID has shown us the value of devolved nations working together as a united force, yet when provisions set out in this bill allow for joint working and support which would benefit individuals across our United Kingdom, those sat on the other side of this House oppose it. Amendments being put forward would present... I won't give way to the member for Kilmarnock, who's been on his feet longer than anybody, despite not being on the order paper and not considering it important enough to put him to speak. Amendments being put forward would prevent this government from achieving its levelling up agenda for the whole of the United Kingdom, as any government spending decisions would potentially be held up by the devolved nations. Wales will not lose a single penny of EU funding when the transition period ends. If anything, the streamlined approach will ensure that together we can tackle inequality and deprivation across the UK with less money wasted on bureaucracy. So not only does this bill provide for greater unity and cohesion, it also gives unprecedented powers to all of the devolved nations, with over 70 new policy areas previously held at EU level now coming direct to the devolved nations. So far from being a power grab, as the benches opposite are so keen to declare, the bill offers greater support and funding to all parts of the United Kingdom. And that is what this bill should be about, directing funding and support to the right places in order to support jobs, businesses and livelihoods. Today's amendments from the various opposition parties do the opposite and are more concerned with playing political games with the Union than supporting the needs of people in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. We are here for our people. Communities in Delyn across North Wales will greatly benefit from the new powers that this bill sets out. With subsidy control now being a reserved matter for the UK government, the EU will no longer be in charge of taxpayers' money, and instead the UK government will be able to invest in areas that need it the most. In 2013, the Welsh Government closed Flint Hospital in my constituency to reduce costs in the North Wales Health Board, which still sits in special measures 5 years later, leaving the residents of Flint having to travel on sporadic and failing public transport to other facilities to visit their loved ones. Had this bill been in place at that time, could it have helped the people of Flint to retain their vital community infrastructure? The Labour-led Welsh Government continues to fail the people of Wales. These policy areas, which are wholly devolved like education, despite increases in the Welsh Block Grant, funding for schools is still at the same level as it was in 2006. We need a strong Wales in a strong United Kingdom. The UK Government has the financial capabilities to support the Welsh Government in delivering for the people of Wales, creating more jobs and improving infrastructure by upgrading the A55 to motorway standard and delivering an M4 relief road, which the Welsh Government have so far failed to do. So, while Labour may claim to be the party of the Union and support the devolved nation's interests, this UK Government will invest directly in Wales and support Welsh communities with the clauses in this bill, which the Labour Party have spent the last few days doing everything they can to stop, denying additional powers to the Senedd and additional funding to the people of Wales. By leaving the EU, this democratically elected government will be able to provide the support that our communities need, the new financial support system that will ensure Wales and UK priorities are taken into account and not, as was previously, focused on the specific requirements of the EU. Decades of failed European priorities led to the people of Wales rejecting UK membership more than 4 years ago. And whilst the Scottish Nationalist Party ready to rejoin the EU at the drop of a hat, their entire position is to give the 70 powers that they're about to obtain straight back to the EU. And they say that this bill is destroying the Union. Well, I might be misunderstanding their entire raison d'etre, but if they believe that to be the case, I look forward to seeing them joining us in the lobbies at each stage of this bill to vote it through, because that would seem to accord with your greatest wish. The fact is they oppose it because they know it does exactly the opposite. It enhances, it stabilises, it reinforces the union of the United Kingdom, and I am proud to be a member of the Conservative and Unionist Party supporting clauses 46 and 47 before the House today. Prior to coming to this House, when I was a financial planner, one of the elements of planning was to ensure the right money in the right hands at the right time. And these clauses are about getting the right money to the right places in a timely manner for the benefit of the people, bringing more powers to each devolved nation and supporting every part of the United Kingdom. Today's opposition amendments simply take away from this, and I urge those sat across from me in the House today to stop playing political games and recognise the benefits this will bring to us all.